Hey, Sri Lanka. It's another edition of the Decibel podcast at Top Bay. It's one of those days where we have superstars. We have Portia, Portia. And then we have Randy Chriz. But you're also a superstar. You're Mike. You're Mike.
You're a superstar. Sorry,
no,
sorry.
I'm not superstar. You superstar, you superstar.
Illa.
Yes, irki. Nee superstar.
Are you serious?
Nee superstar.
More like starfish stuck to a wall. Stuck there and staying there for as long as possible.
Garbage. But the truth is, you are a superstar.
Yeah, like Mario.
Yeah.
Is that Mario? Yeah, like no.
Wait.
When they fall down, like when they. That's how you fall down. Okay.
They go very high pitch.
We haven't had any mushrooms yet, right?
No, Amatu Hatu by Wishmalak is being prepared in the kitchen.
Yes.
So, but we're just giggling because it's been like a minute, man, since I've seen the two of you. How you guys been? Apart from like stressing out and going nee.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is most of the time. Especially Randy. I mean he's been working non-stop for the last 1.5 years.
Dude.
Yeah.
1.5 years, man. You've even moved houses.
Yeah. 2 years, I think, since we met you. No, you came to
Oh,
our
yeah. Last year.
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
And, but we didn't talk. We didn't do anything.
Yeah, it was just like, hi, Machan.
Yeah.
We came here and
it was just a personally hanging out kind of thing. Oh, gosh. Yeah, it's been a while.
How have you guys been?
We've been pretty good. Again, busy, like she said. The thing is, like, we were like really caught up in a lot of projects, and none of us like finished, and they didn't launch it, so we couldn't like make any noise. So, like,
there are like about 10 videos that haven't released. That
Wait, 10 videos of like artists?
Yeah. They're waiting for the perfect time, I guess.
Yeah,
when
including
like
Interscope ones. So
wait, what? Interscope?
Yeah. I mean, we did this mural for them for 50 years of hip hop. Yes.
Okay.
Last year.
Yeah.
So that was also supposed to be an event that didn't happen either. I don't know. We don't know. But we did that. It was a nice mural, and we can't share it yet because we don't know how they put it out. So then there is several music videos for a few of the new rap artists of Interscope. And then there's of course the Eminem ones, and the recent one which we did release, luckily, I mean we only got to release it because we released it on ours, but we did the video in August. We sent it to Interscope, and then they sat on it till last week.
Actually, this album that Eminem dropped, the Death of Slim Shady, so it had some awesome tracks. So I wanted to do Guilty Conscience so bad because the fans really wanted that, and that was like the main thing in the whole album, I felt. So, and there's another track that Eminem was released called Save Me, and that also I did a quick lyric video. So we sent both of them to the Interscope team, and then they were like, wait, hold on to it, we might put it on officially. And they were like waiting like 6-7 days even after Eminem had released, he was going to release Save Me,
right?
But then the hype was like kind of dying down, so we quickly we released within our channel.
I mean, it makes sense to like take advantage of the hype.
Yeah.
So we released Somebody Save Me because it wasn't a music video, it was more like a lyric video. So we released that without waiting for them to reply. And then she was like, oh, why did you do that? Then we were like, okay, we won't do that then. But will you let us know then about Guilty Conscience too?
silent. She went silent for like 3-4 days, and the hype was going on. So we decided, hey, time is going on, so we had to like post. It. So we
Release
made
it.
that decision. Then she's like, oh, why did you do that, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then so then.
So then we waited for
Yeah.
Guilty Conscience too, for them to
So
decide.
we waited for 1 month. I think.
No, more than that.
More than
so
1
we
month,
did it
yeah.
in August,
Yeah.
beginning of August,
Yeah.
and so September, October, yeah.
And the fans are like, hey, when are you gonna drop this? You drop
Yeah.
the trailer. When are you gonna drop this?
Yeah, when
So-
is this happening? When is this happening? But then in the meantime, Eminem also dropped those very sentimental
Yeah.
songs. Yes, that it was a whole other wave that they were going on, so it made sense that we waited also. And then just last week, they said, you guys go ahead because there were a lot of red tape with the use of a gun visually. So though the audio didn't have that much of red tape,
Yeah.
visually there is a lot of red tape, and
wow.
the use of the characters in it, like the actual celebrities in it, you can't really
Yeah.
put them on like that.
Fred Durst.
Yes.
I saw Fred Durst and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, the wall
He's
of
like out of the game now, but he doesn't have much say. But there are like MGK and a lot
Will
of
Smith.
prominent figures, Will Smith,
Yeah.
relevant guys. Like so, they had to
So
go through a lot of red
that
tape.
it's not easy for them to release without the permission.
That's wild.
Yeah, and the gun, that was the main issue. They were like, can we do this without the gun showing? But then it's all about that. And then there's obviously the mental health concern there and all that.
Yeah,
So
the-
I think
the
that's where
slangs.
they decided we can't be editing this video. It is raw and it's exactly what the audience needs.
Yeah.
So they asked us to release it. So
Yeah.
yeah, they've seen it. They know it. It's
Yeah.
just that it's not official.
Man.
Officially official. Yeah, but but we're kind of glad we got to release it because it gives
It's been
our
some
channel
time also. Yeah, exactly.
a little attention, because even the YouTube button we got, it was hard to get because none of the
Most
content that was long time ago. Yeah, that was back in 2020.
Yeah.
But that was
Just after Godzilla, yeah.
that was also hard to get because they didn't give it to us once we
Because we didn't have
passed.
original content. It was for other artists that
Yeah.
they upload from their channels. So we didn't have it.
Yeah,
So,
so the condition was your channel has to be uploading original content. You have to be the creator of your content. But on our channel, what we do is, since we do the content for others, it's others who upload it, and we just feature it on our channel. So they were like, we had to write to them and say, well, this is our content. And if you go to the credits, it mentions us. And it is our content, so it is ours. It's just that we don't upload it because the client uploads it. Then they sent us the button. So that was
that works.
how it works. So it's good to release the track on ours for that reason.
although it gets claimed.
Of course,
but,
it gets claimed,
yeah.
so that's not a
The
problem.
views,
It's anyway
yeah.
not for. Yeah, we don't make money on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
There's no way we make money on YouTube. So it's just
I love the comments though, like
audience.
how
There you
the
go.
fans like really take it to another level with the things they see in the video, and it's crazy. The comments really encourage us to.
Yes,
Yeah.
the comments are what feeds him to do something else, the next thing, right? So when we didn't release the 10 or more than 10, I'm sure it's more than 10 videos for the last 1.5 years, that builds up. Like you've done the
Yeah.
work, but it's not out there, and you don't get the feedback from people. It's really draining
Yeah.
on an artist, especially.
Yeah.
So we were really glad that we got to release something from our
Yeah,
end, because if
that's
it was with them, we'd never know.
Yeah.
So we did this one for Moneybag Yo recently, so hopefully that comes out soon. Well, that's the whole.
And then-
Morgan Wallen, no, the what do you
Yeah,
call
Morgan
cowboy,
Wallen.
country singer Morgan Wallen, and he also has a big database. And I think you said, oh, Morgan Wallen, yeah, that dude, he has like a big database.
he was on, I think, American Idol or something.
He was doing collaborations with a lot of prominent.
Yeah, he's an interesting artist. He's like a country artist, but he's collabing with like different genres, and it's
That's
pretty
interesting,
cool.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. I could always like
Yeah, but
do the whole switch. No. Here it's more like switch. Switch. Only exercise I do
Oh yeah.
on a Sunday. Switch. And so 10 more to go, huh?
Yeah, more than 10, I think. So there's one that is an entire album animated. So that's 8 songs.
Yeah.
So it's a movie.
Yeah.
Basically a movie, about 30 minutes in total. So that is 8 by itself. And then there is Janil's one. He is playing with it still. And then that's the only local one that we did. Not local again, but at least half local. And then there is Glorilla. There is... can't even remember now. There's a lot. There's probably about...
Dax? Is Dax on the list?
Yes.
So
The album is his.
Yeah, the album
Yeah.
whole thing. It was
The entire album. So
Yeah.
that was it's nice. It has a lot of... It's a deep one. It addresses mental health. We were hoping he would release it in October, where it was the mental health month. Because it's all about like depression, PTSD, alcoholism. It's all in
Addiction, yeah.
in that range. And we did a lot of research. It's a well-researched video. So since, I mean, I am a psychologist as well, so I put in all the psychology I knew as well in writing the scripts for it.
And props out to Dax. I mean, he's an independent artist. I mean, doesn't have a record label and gathering all the funds and somehow getting it done. He's on his own hustle as well, so he's
And
planning to launch the video somehow.
Yeah, and he addresses real topics, so which helps us as, I mean, Randy and I both have a problem if we are creating something for a song that is very shallow. Like the meaning, if it's deep, it's easier for us to visualize. And he's always about, there has to be a surface meaning and there has to be a underlying meaning and
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs, exactly. You know, his love for Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So when it's deep like that, we get to really enjoy the whole project.
And we want to make the fans kind of decipher it for themselves. Where we leave it abstract also. There's an abstract element. So this means this and this means. We want that engagement also. So that's what I mean.
With Rahat Himivurun, like if you remember that, the engagement, like the descriptions in the comment section was worth all the effort because people really trying to understand the story for themselves. That's the best.
Yeah.
That's always such like a priceless thing. And so I'm guessing like 2025 is going to be the year of releases from the house of Randy.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm really hoping.
We hope so, yeah.
And so let's get talking about this music video you recently did for that Eminem track, Guilty Conscience, man. Dude, did you... And I'm sure a lot of people would have seen it too. Is there like a Venom reference?
Either way, like Eminem and Slim Shady has that symbiotic kind of relationship, alter ego and all that. So a lot of people had said, like you said, there's a Venom reference, and there are a lot of artworks that I did also, a symbiotic relationship and all that.
Eminem did a Venom song as well. He is a fan of Venom himself. Yeah, and Spider-Man. He loves Spider-Man. So, and he has a featured comic as well. So, we included all those things in there. But I think the Venom it's just that Slim Shady, the concept of Slim Shady was anyway like Venom. It's very similar.
The more you come to understand it, yeah. Because before, like, it was, wait a second. Because for me, I never understood that relationship up until I saw the music video, and I'm like,
You mean the relationship with Eminem and Slim Shady?
that Venom connection,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So he uses Slim Shady as his alter ego, who's the one who goes crazy and says all these controversial things, while Eminem is the artist, Marshall Mathers is the real person. So Slim Shady is like the scapegoat he might use to say all this bullshit. So, but it's a nice concept that he's very conceptual. Most of his songs, apart from the language sometimes and some of the terms, I mean, very creative, and one of the rappers I really like because he has his own kind of principles and ethics. And he's not showing off, bling bling. It's about his family, and if someone disses you, he disses back. And the loyalty in his he's under Dre and 50 Cent is under Eminem. The hierarchy, they respect that throughout the years. The longevity, keep their word. So it's really amazing to see that. So and the rhymes and the multi rhymes, the whole thing. Yeah.
He's a big fan. You know,
Dude,
obviously.
clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. And what are the top, okay, maybe not top 3 Easter eggs, but what are 3 Easter eggs you've dropped in the music video?
Yeah. Easter eggs. There are a lot of sprinkled out there, and a lot of fans have picked up on that. Some of it. I just remember out of the top of my head, 313 is there in one of those pillars. That's why his area code is Detroit, and a lot of comic books also that he has been featured in, and yeah, and even the merchandise. Some of the merchandise that.
Yeah. So there were 2 types of Easter eggs. One was Eminem's own stuff, like so everything from the merch, the one of a kind like exclusive merch that he has been selling or sold out. There was a lot of that there, and there were props from his videos that were replicated for that, and
For
the
example,
whole
what?
there were lots, and also the best scene of the whole song, which most people
Yeah.
seem to love, is the many versions of Eminem, Slim Shady. That is basically the biggest kind of moment in the song.
It picks up from there, and then suddenly the scene changes. And,
and then in the scene change, the second type of Easter egg is a reference to his own video. So it's between Randy's videos for Eminem and Eminem's own Easter eggs, right? So then there is Randy's the Wall of Shame, the heads. That's
Which
from
are-
Godzilla.
yeah.
And then the Shady Beef records, the Morgue,
The Morgue scene
which is
after
also
the
from
sun-
Godzilla. And there's the car, which is from Tone Deaf, which is a reference to Eminem's own Cadillac from which album?
Tone Deaf. Oh, you mean
The car was the
Tone
Cadillac
Deaf.
is
That was a song we
from,
used it in.
from his albums back in the day. And then there is the comic book, the one he was, they did a variant cover with him battling Spider-Man, so that was there. Then all his props, the Jason mask and the chainsaw and things like that. And that location itself. So the location, they had teased a similar location in a teaser that they released of Eminem being tied up.
Yeah. Like
So
in a
they-
warehouse. Yeah.
In a warehouse, right? So they had done it like a smaller kind of more like a basement-ish situation, but we changed it into a warehouse because we wanted it to
Those
be
big characters pop up, so we need
we
headroom.
need the room
Yeah.
because we wanted to include the Slim Shady Eminem universe in it, right? And it should be something that somewhere yes.
Pause.
Quick pause because drink time.
So we were thinking if Eminem had this, if Marshall Mathers had this space in his head where Slim Shady would be, that would be the place. That's what we thought. So it's changing. It's not a static place. It's not a real place, right? But he has to have a space, right? In your mind, you
The
would have
headspace,
that
yeah.
space for that character, where that character lives, right? So we thought it should be something like this, where he has dumped all his stuff, and he has all these, because he's interrogating Eminem. He's like, why didn't you do this album about with Christopher Reeves in it? And because he's keeping this stash, and he's like,
There's a file, Shady Files.
yeah, Shady Files.
Because at one point they fall into the flow and all, and then he talks about the celebrities. So I made that opportunity to get the fly all over, and then when he's talking about the celebrities, to show that shot. And a lot of
Yeah.
decisions were made regarding how the song was going,
Yeah.
and we took the decisions on the visuals.
I mean, it's an amazing track to start with. The conversation is really rich with a lot of things, and it really brings out the Slim Shady version. Like, why didn't you do this and this and this? And if it was up to me, I would do it. And then Eminem also asking, now it's enough. You've done it. You've gone ahead and done the worst possible, and you're gonna get us cancelled, etc. So Randy actually made 2 other episodes prior
Small
to
skits.
two
right?
skits to lead up to this. So we had released the 2 skits, and then we did GC2. And that's why the audience is like, yo, what's happening? Why aren't you releasing GC2? And you've been teasing us for 2 weeks now, and you have 2 skits. So there's episode 1, which is the birth, which is from the 1997.
Back when where Eminem was like going through addiction, and Slim Shady is like coming back alive, and he's like, I killed you, no? And then he says, no.
Guess who's back?
Yeah, something like that. So reintroduction of Slim Shady, and then the new skit where they were saying, there are a lot of protesters outside Shady Records and blah blah.
Spaghetti, Spaghetti place.
Yeah.
So that was in his new album where he had done this skit of people coming to cancel him and protesting his lyrics against little people and transphobia and etc. Right? So
and
that was another
chose
skit.
That also because it talks about the death of Slim Shady, so those are relevant. So we took those 2 skits, and then the next one should be Guilty
anyway,
Conscience.
GC2 was right after that skit. It was like, so are you happy now? It's right after that news clip. So he's
continues.
asked, it continues. So it made sense.
And so now you can see all this amazing food. Shout out to Tavi. And SLDC, we need to speak about this because, man, SLDC, Sri Lanka Design.
Creative Designers Collective of Sri Lanka, basically. So we registered this in 2022. So it's 2 years now.
Woo! Congratulations!
And it's the only association or organization that represents the creative design talent in Sri Lanka. So there are, it was a little hard for us to understand the perimeter of it because there are like lots of jobs that fall under creative design.
Yeah.
And there's also visual art, and there's performance art, and all those are also creative design. So we were thinking, do they have their own organizations for each of these? For example, the photographers do. So that's one visual art form that they have an association and an organization and representation for. But they're also creative designers, but we don't need to include them specifically because they have their backup. They have something. And performance artists also do. And creative design, when we think it's in our perimeter, performance art is not something we know much about. So we left that out as well. But there are members in the group who do performance art as well as the other things. So there are always times where these talents get together and do something. So what we thought when defining our perimeters was, if we are to do a production in creative design for advertising or entertainment or a movie or whatever it may be, or gaming or whatever, what are the sets of skills we need to complete the task? So then we would need the artist, the concept artist, storyboard artist, the character designer, the character animator, the what do you call? If it's not animator, then we need the videographer, the choreographer. So all those, and the voice artist. So all of those basically talents, skills, professions we put together, and we expanded the scope to include anything, any skill that would help complete a production. So that includes prosthetics, makeup, all of that. So that made this association rich with a lot of skills and talents, and when we pool in, like we get to find the skills that we are lacking to complete a project within the community. So this all started actually when Randy in 2022. So this has been something that the community has always been talking about. We had these Facebook pages, I can't remember the names now, but SLVFX, etc. There were several attempts to build a community by seniors in the community, but it never followed through because they're busy. So it's always, I mean, Randy, for example, he has hardly time when they're in a project. They don't have the time to attend to the community, which was the main reason. And the second reason is, so then the youngsters start engaging, but then the seniors fall out, but it becomes just a group where you share your art and get a few likes, and that's it. You don't really get professional help, and there's no one constantly there hosting you. In our case, the unique situation where Randy is busy, but I am constant. That's what I do. That's my job. So I did that with Pick Me. I did that with anything.lk, wow.lk later. So I was handling these creative teams. That's what I did, as well as the approach outward. So how you would deal with the customer and the audience and your public reception. So I was uniquely positioned in that middle ground where I am also an artist. I design as well. So I could understand both sides. And I had the time because that was my job. It wasn't like it was something I'm doing anyway. So I got to do that. And I proposed this to the bunch of artists, the seniors who were eager to make this happen, but since they didn't have the time. So we had...
Also, I think we went all around, I mean, some of the outskirts in Sri Lanka and try to reach into these artists as well, like, you know, even sculptors and, you know, these, where down south?
Ambalangoda,
and
Gaul.
Yeah, so they are all in the kind of the site as well, just in case.
Tangol. We actually, so we made it a point to go beyond just this digital kind of atmosphere and meet now day before yesterday, I just went to Lionel, met 3 senior artists, spoke to them about their careers, what
before
they're
that
doing.
Also you went to AOD also?
We go to AOD a lot. I mean, any of the Moratua, etc. universities. And we try to understand the whole scope of it. So including people who don't draw digitally, but are still artists, and they need to find their means of income, right? And how to price their stuff. That's a huge question that we as artists have. So since Randy, we got this breakthrough to the international market in 2020, we got a huge influx of work. So we would get like 100 job requests a month. Yeah, but we obviously...
What, honey? That's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's like 2 to 3 jobs a day coming in, but we can't do all that. So we were thinking... And these are all foreign jobs, meaning it earns foreign income, right? And that's at a time during COVID where we are like, you know, and the economic crisis. And we are thinking, oh my God, why can't 100 other artists be taking these jobs? So what we did was, initially we reached out. So I have always been, I like to think of myself as a collector of artists, not art, the artist itself. So I used to have this collection of good artists saved in an Excel sheet. So I reached out to them and said, if you are eager to get these jobs, we can connect you with our clients. And what we did was we would try these projects out with these different artists if we couldn't take on the project. Then what happened was, sadly, this is also sad about our industry, some of them are not as responsible as they should be when taking on a job. So they would ghost us and not complete the project and those kind of things.
And sometimes we have to do the job 2 times. I mean,
then
we
because
assigned jobs
Randy-
to him, but he didn't do a good job and wouldn't follow up. Then I had to do the same thing again. So we had some of the responsibilities. They weren't so.
Yeah, and our policy is we pay the artist 50% upfront because we charge that, and we believe there should not be this credit period for art. Right?
An inequality thing.
Exactly. I mean, it should be treated as any other profession. And when it comes to artists and art especially, I mean, some of the other professions are 3D artists and all that, I think they're treated a little better. But when it comes to artists, drawing of it, illustrators, they're paid the least. And they're the one, they can't afford to wait for 45 days for a payment after giving their time. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So I've told of a lot of agencies who tried that with us, and probably they don't like me for that reason, but I don't care. I don't like them either in the first place, because if they can't pay...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. They're the first ones to be like demanding the client to pay.
Exactly.
And when they get the money, it's like, what's the holdup, bro?
Yeah. To be fair, the agencies have a 30 to 45 day credit period with the client, which is how they earn the clients, because there's only a small pool of clients in Sri Lanka who pay. So all the agencies are fighting for the same client. So the advantage they offer the client is you can pay later. So that's what they try to transfer to us when they hire the talent from outside, which we refused to entertain after 2018 or so. So we don't do the same thing we experience to other artists. So if we hire them, we pay them 50% up front, and then they ghost us, and now we've paid them and we have to do the job because we are dealing with the client and we don't want to disappoint the client. Right? So that didn't work out well. So what we did afterwards was, as a means of combating that, what we did was we thought, what if all these portfolios were in one link where we can share it with the client and the client deals with the artist directly.
Yeah.
So then if they don't like it, fine. We don't have to take on the responsibility. Right?
Yeah, because that's extra stress there.
That's just too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Just too much.
We are vouching for that artist.
Vouching for them, and then we end up doing it. And that's just too much. So that's how slcreatives.lk was born. Which is one link that entertains and hosts more than 300 portfolios now for free. So the client can contact them directly, deal with them however they want, and we only host that. I mean, it's a cost to host it, but we bear that because it's a service to the country. And I think by serving our industry, like people might think that this is like we are goody two shoes trying to, it's more than that actually, because when we go out to the industry and you don't have an industry back at home, I think Bharti also said this once, your value is also a little diminished. Like you're coming out of a well, there's no one behind you, there's no
like you say, like there's no scene without a home, whatever.
There you go.
There was no international scene without a local
scene, right? So where is the local scene? We know that it exists. It's just not valued enough. And if it's not valued locally, we can't be, and we don't have the confidence to demand it globally. Though they give it to us. They absolutely give it to us. I mean, I will talk about this very specific lady that Randy posted about recently, how they treat us, right? But when we don't have that back at home, it's sad. And we are still in Sri Lanka, so we need that. And it's not just us, and if our children are to join this industry, we need that built. And the amount of parents calling us and telling us, Mage puta me andina ekama thamai karanne, is that okay? Is there a career in this, etc.? What answer do we have to give? There is no industry. So how is there to be a career? So this is why we thought, by serving this industry and bringing it to a place where it's respected locally, then we can talk about, our global approach, because first it's your home ground, right? So that is why we're doing this. There is a selfish reason for it, as well as a community interest. The community is going to serve us eventually, so that's why we're doing this. and we are proud to host all that talent. But there is that downside where some are not responsible, and some don't know how to price themselves. They go and undercut the other artists. Those things happen.
Which is a harm to themselves in the long run as well, right,
We want to that's why we want to educate, which is why we have an active WhatsApp community where we want to educate them on things like that, where they may make these mistakes because they are young and they don't understand the industry. But if they do understand the long-term effects of these actions, and if someone was to teach them that, I think that will help all of us eventually. So.
No, fair enough. And is there though a standard? Because recently even there was a problem with DJ pricings, and I was like, dude, 8K for 3 hours a day? How about no? So is there a thing like that with your industry where you guys are like, hey, you know what, you don't have to go this low? Is there a way people can actually reach out to you guys and discover what the industry rates are, as opposed to just quoting whatever they feel like?
Yes. So that is something that has been that I think I am the only person doing that right now. So I'm the price guru, apparently, because we understood through our own journey as artists, Randy and I, when we started back in 2007, we were freelancing for way longer than that.
While we were working, no?
We were working, but we set out and did our own thing in 2017 when you came. And we
Way
did
back.
our first ever. I was literally painting that M on the floor when you came.
For
Remember?
the interview,
I was painting the logo that I cut out in a rigid form. So it's just... we've realized we've tried different formulas of pricing ourselves since then. So we moved slowly, tested the grounds, and then we figured out that an hourly rate based on your skill is the best way of pricing an artist. Because what usually happens in the industry is they have a price list. They have what you call a cue sheet. So they'll say a brochure is this much, a leaflet is this much, a banner is this much, a hoarding is this much. That's how agencies usually price art. That's not a good way of pricing, because what if it's a book cover and one book cover is just an abstract art and the other book cover has 10 people you need to draw on it? It's totally two different projects and you can't price both of them the same. So it's about the effort you put in and the time it takes you as a professional. And it doesn't mean that if you take longer you get paid more. It's because as you become more and more professional, it takes less and less time. But then your professionalism is higher and your art is better. So there is a middle ground that you need to find out, and there is a way of testing it, like how you test the market to see where your art value is. How much would they value your art, not your time, first your art, then you multiply it by the time it takes for you to complete the project. So it's definitely project based. There's no cue card for I take this much for a music video, nothing like that. So that is the first thing we realized in pricing for creative stuff. It is an hourly rate. That's how internationally it's priced anyway.
No, also I think that pricing scheme kind of helps also, like you said, if there's a artwork you have to do like 60 characters and versus just one character but the same album artwork, the 60 characters thing takes a lot of time. So when you break it down like that, it's good for the person who's doing the work and the understanding for the client as well. Okay, this is this much, but then I can have the same meaning in this artwork with one or two characters. So the options are available to him
for
as well.
For the client as well. And client understands when you say it, when you discuss a brief properly with the client understands, okay, if I add too many characters, it's going to cost me, but can I say this more simply? And that's always welcome, because that means our project is easier, we make our money faster, and the client, it's a win-win, right? So we always see it as, some people might think we'll add on and increase the price. That's not how you look at pricing,
Yeah, it can be like a very tricky thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why you exist. And if anyone wants to, because I feel like this is one of those like super complicated things.
Yes,
and I
it
guess
is.
like there are people who would be like watching this and thinking, bro, I need to get Portia's number. No, you can get a number, but I think you need to get a link to join the SLCD.
DC.
SLDC or
It's a
SLCD?
CDC.
Ah,
I know.
it's so confusing
I know
sometimes.
it is a bit of a tongue twister.
But yeah, there is a link. Do I post a link below?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so find it easy, and then you can ask Portia all the questions.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to be at Play Expo this year.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh,
yes.
get that closer.
Yes.
Let's hear it. What are you guys planning?
Yeah, so we are planning to do like we did this before last year as well, but it was short notice, so a little bit. We are hoping to do a little bit more this time in terms of introducing to our audience the many scopes of SLCDC, like all the skills involved in this whole creative design spectrum, and show off our skills. Let
'Cause
them
where else? Yeah.
I know, right? And let them experience it firsthand, kind of like with the audio experience, for example. That's something that people don't get to experience. They just hear it on a commercial or whatever, but then that's it. But
Oh,
then
there's something
more.
very cool coming up.
Yeah,
That's
so
all? And then you just
secret.
come to that special
find out.
place
Yes.
at Play Expo this year. So you guys are going to be there on the 2 days.
Yes. Maybe not the whole time, but we'll plan out and come. But then there will be a crew always there to help out the audience. And last time what we learned was people literally came up to us and said, there's a profession for artists? Like,
What?
yes. They were like, we didn't know it was a thing. We thought it was a hobby. You know? So there were people who came up to us and said, we didn't realize that it was a real profession. So that was a win by itself to make people understand that it is a profession, and one with the potential to earn a lot, and internationally, globally. So that was an experience for us to understand how unknown this is as a profession. It's simply seen as a hobby.
That's so crazy
Exactly.
in 2024 too.
I know.
You think things would be a little different, huh?
I know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in other countries, like all the avenues are there for any creative industries. But here, somehow, even through the industry, the artists are really put down in a certain sense. Like illustrators mostly, animators, 3D. Like she said, 3D artists are prominent because in the advertising agency they use them quite a lot. 2D animation is not much introduced in advertising because again not a lot of people do 2D animations maybe.
Yeah.
So again, they need to bring their portfolios forward and show their stuff to for the advertising agencies to even give them a shot. And recently we got approached by some clients who are saying we haven't we haven't seen 2D animation done for this, so we it's quite a risk that we are taking by hiring you. So it's their loss, but likewise on the other side, the actual 2D artists have to do stuff to show the case as well. So in that regard,
like I said, the artists also have to take initiative. They can't expect others to just know that they exist, which is what we are trying. I mean, when Randy stepped out and started his own thing, he took an entire month just shooting whatever he had in his mind out there to the audience and letting them know that these things can be done.
And when we get people onto the cell series, we see the potential, but they haven't done anything significant to show anyone, this is what you can do. So when we try to scale up also, we got like Binusha and Raja and a lot of people, we try to push them to do a product like this so that you can pitch. So that's what's lacking, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, that was a whole other... so that's us trying this out, okay? So for 1 year, we had a few young artists hosted in a place. I mean, we had them host... I mean, they were from outside Colombo. They got to... We had a house rented out for them. We took care of their food. And we basically said, don't worry about the other things. We took away their worries. I mean, that's what you would worry about, right? Food and housing. So we took those worries out and said, just come, start creating, and let's do this let's build your own. So as an artist, what I realized working with teams before was, when you're an artist, you don't like to be told so much what to do, but you'd rather be appreciated for your own creativity. So that's something that both of us understood with working with artists. They need to feel like what they are creating is for them. Yes, it's for a client, but it is out there with their name on it, right? But when you are working employed by an agency or whatever, you are working your behind out, but
It's okay, you can swear.
but no one knows it's your work, right? So no one is talking about, the agency will have its name out, but you won't, right? So we made it a point that we gave every opportunity to the artist to build his or her own portfolio, own fan base, own self-respect. And that's how, so we never, they were not employees at all, they were managed by us. So they were their own brand. We helped them create their logos, understand how to portray their story, what aspects of their skills is more commercially valuable, what do they enjoy doing more. It was a whole discovery process. But in that process, we also discovered that we are not businessmen, we are artists ourselves. So it kind of took away from us a certain amount of energy that I think we can't afford anymore. So we've stopped doing that now, currently. But we had fun doing it while it lasted. But now we think, so the AODs, there are a few of the students approaching us asking if we offer the internship. We stopped that, unfortunately, but it was, if there was a possibility of doing it in a larger scale, if there was someone who can take it on, it's such a valuable service.
That someone could be you.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, it's something that's so valuable for those artists, especially when it comes to their mental health as an artist. That also, it's not. So usually artists are very sensitive and they get all worked up about certain things, and it's valid. You can't just say, oh, you're just too sensitive about that. You can't just say that. It's all valid. You need to address that so that the artist can move on and create. Because otherwise they get art block. They can't create. They get stuck in this loop, right? So all that, it is very nurturing. It is a very parent-like relationship for which we can't find the energy or the funds anymore. But if that's possible, if that's a possibility, because in France, and I think in I've heard France, I think in England as well, there are places like that where artists can apply and come and live a year and create together. So that is a concept that this does exist globally. It's just that here we need to make that happen possibly, but the two of us got exhausted doing that. Let's see.
No, I can imagine. I mean, putting in money for art isn't like the easiest thing, especially with an economy that's recovering and all that. So,
Yeah.
But thanks for doing that when you guys had the opportunity to, and I hope somehow the universe opens up more doors.
Yeah.
Because that's like a very important thing. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. I think even India has it. I think it's necessary, and we are hoping to talk to the government as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Anura. Here's an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, Harini seems open to different means of education. We've spoken to the Chamber of Commerce before the election. We were planning to give the plan to anyone who comes into power. So we are hoping to meet them soon, and when the election is done and when it's more settled, on how to bring the aspect of creative designers into the tourism of Sri Lanka, because that's something.
Dude, that is something we need, because, man,
And it's
all
easily
this time it's just been like bland spaghetti. Come on, man, we need some,
Yeah.
I don't know, spices up in there.
I know, and just think about it, right?
Yeah.
What is tourism in Sri Lanka? It's either the nature, the natural environment that we already.
There's so much more to tourism than
I mean,
what
that's
we
what
see,
we are
yeah.
doing right now, the nature or art that was created in ancient times. Ancient ones, not the new ones, all ancient ones. So what happens, so we are just selling art and our nature from long time ago, whereas there's way more that we can be doing right now.
Yeah.
And instead, what we do is send our ladies abroad and call them.
Yeah.
That's
very
for
demeaning.
me, I mean,
yeah.
I don't need a leader to do that. I don't need leaders to come on TV and say proudly that they sent so many women abroad.
That's
I do
cringe,
not that.
bro. Yeah.
That's so cringe for me. That is so cringe. So I'd rather have a leader looking at ways where we can export our talent without the person moving from the country and having respect for our talent.
Exactly.
Right?
Hopefully that happens in this
I know,
lifetime.
so we have a plan. So we don't want to just point fingers and say do something. We have a plan. So we want to propose that plan and see how it goes. So that's a big one.
That is definitely a
Yeah.
big one. Wow, so much was
I know.
spoken about on this podcast, and I hope you're able to absorb. I think we should do like a part 2.
Oh my gosh.
Because there is so much, man, every time I meet you guys. But before we, wrap things up, quick fire time. Are you guys ready for something fun?
Okay.
And maybe this time around, ladies not first,
Yes.
but gents
Yes.
first. So, quick fire.
Quick fire.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I don't think
Alright.
you're ready for this.
Maybe not.
Dre or Eminem?
Eminem.
Slim Shady or Marshall Mathers?
Oh, Slim Shady.
Your mother or your daddy?
Oh gosh. Now you put me on spot. Oh gosh. Oh no, I don't know.
Junk food or Amagibat?
I'ma give up.
That's what's up, man. Amagibat wins, and let's give it
No,
over
it's
to you.
done.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be a quick fire
Okay.
fun thing.
Okay.
So, this is going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Fun Randy or home Randy?
Fun Randy or home Randy? The funnest Randy is the home Randy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is something we didn't know.
Yeah.
Up until today.
Yeah, he's super fun when he's at home.
What else can I like quick fire at ya?
Why do you sound like Dracula from Transylvania?
Because I do like to channel my energy like that.
Blah, blah, blah.
Hip hop or electronica?
Hip hop.
Really?
Mm.
I always pictured you to be like one of those like 2000 trans girls, like.
Nah.
These are mysterious times.
I like the lyricism of hip hop. So
Okay.
it's about that, I guess.
Okay. Do you miss being single or do you like being a mom?
I like being a mom. It's way more interesting than being single for me.
Uh-huh.
Because I had a very boring single life, I suppose.
Japanese or Chinese? Food wise.
Oh. Well, Chinese is often found than Japanese food.
But your preference?
I don't know, it's hard to choose. I mean, I sometimes like the Chinese food, but then I get tired of it too. But then Japanese food is more like, there's more art involved in it, I feel. I might be wrong.
No,
I
there
might be
is,
just
yeah.
trying the Sri Lankan Chinese food stereotype, and there might be more to it. So I don't think I can decide. But with what I've tried, the Japanese food feels more artsy.
Played it safe.
Yes.
Very safe. Oh, God, Portia. And one final one. Well, milk tea, the plain tea, the acai.
Oh gosh, that's also hard.
Why?
So there's plain tea with different flavors. That's more interesting than just milk tea.
So,
So-
what would you choose?
But then there's sometimes you really need milk tea, the wholesomeness of a milk tea. It's really hard, man. Okay, plain tea.
Plain tea wins. Plain tea wins. Oh, man, this was so much fun, the
Okay.
two of you. Is there anything you guys want to add in closing?
Just go watch GC2. Guilty Conscience 2 on YouTube. And come for the Comic Expo in December, 7th and 8th. See what we got. And obviously you can talk to us about what your concerns are with the industry. If you are an artist or a creative yourself, we will share whatever we know, because we don't believe in gatekeeping this. It doesn't help. So it helps to share. So yeah, come and
I just want to add one thing, let's do smart collaborations. I've always pushed to advocated this. Meraki United also means united. So smart collaborations means like something like we did with Lock and Dino. They didn't pay us, but there was a common cause. We did something that we are passionate about. So just imagine if I'm passionate about this song with this artist, and and then we can do something together. So smart
we are kind of
collaborations
all
would
about
always
that,
work.
Randy. The whole Godzilla thing was, in a sense, a collaboration, which you do things for free, but you give it your best.
Yeah,
But
right
that
now,
reminds-
right now, I'm apart from music and all that, I'm really on the lookout for someone who can do a historical kind of a thing on Israel Palestine. So I'll freely do a huge animation, even a short movie that encapsulates all of what went down and all the so like that. So because
a smart
yeah.
script and that
Yeah.
kind of collaboration.
because I'm really looking forward to do stuff like that enlightens huge
Humanity.
issues. The causes, because entertainment I love, but these things really affect the whole world as well, and it is long lasting towards our kids' futures as
Yes,
well.
yes.
These branch out, so this has to be made awareness of, and the best form is visually. So I've read so much about during the past year, and I'm trying to again give my services as much as possible.
Yeah.
So slide into the Meraki United DM like a fish.
yeah. If you get on that community, you have direct access to us anyway. You can just talk.
Hit him up, man.
Oh, and we are doing the collab art with the guys, and that will come out soon, and we can share it with everybody. And hopefully there'll be people who can support the cause. So that's one collaboration. We did one for the Aragale last year. The community collaborated with Pulse. And also in terms of our own Sri Lankan reconciliation with the North, I think there is a necessity to do a good script and a good historical there is a necessity for that. So if we can get together and do those things, I think it's more than serving yourself for sure, but it needs to be done.
Yeah, Sri Lanka, you know exactly what to do. Slide into their DMs and let's make history happen. One collaboration at a time. So Jai Weaver to the two of you. Hey.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Woo, woo.